Today I'm installing a flooring transition between two rooms. Both rooms contain vinyl plank flooring of the same height, meaning both sides of the transition will sit on the same plane. So I'm using a standard symmetrical T-molding which locks into place on a metal track. There's 3 steps to this job. We'll start by cutting materials to size, then anchor our metal track to the concrete below before snapping the T-molding in place. This video is sponsored by Home, a company that specializes in furniture like this awesome 4-piece patio set. You'll find links to the Home store and some of their products in the video description. To start with, I measure the length I'll need for my metal track, which is just shy of 30 inches, and I cut it to size with tin snips. After making sure that it'll sit like I want it to, I go ahead and make the primary cut for the T-molding for the transition. The T-molding will sit on the inside of the doorstop for this doorway, for the most part. I make the primary cut for the T-molding with my chop saw. I'll wait to cut the notches for the T-molding until after the metal track is installed, so I know exactly how big the notches need to be. Now that my components are cut to length, it's time to install the metal track. It has holes in the bottom to attach it to concrete. I start by setting the track right where I want it and mark the locations where I need to drill my holes. Now, this unit originally came with the hardware for installation when I purchased it, but it must have fallen out of my backpack on a recent mountain climbing excursion up the cliffs of insanity. Inconceivable! Anyway, I've got some concrete screws that will make a fine replacement. I'm using a DeWalt 20-volt hammer drill for this part of the job. I make sure to use the correct concrete drill bit for this, and to ensure I drill to the proper depth, I wrap a piece of duct tape around the drill bit as a guide for the stopping point. Then switch the drill to hammer and make me some holes. After vacuuming up the debris, I set the metal track into position and sink in my concrete screws. This thing isn't going anywhere. Now, if you didn't lose your hardware on the cliffs of insanity, then just follow the manufacturer's instructions for anchoring your metal track. Now it's time to install the T-molding and finish the job. As I mentioned earlier, to complete the transition between the rooms, I'll need to make a small notch on either side of the T-molding so it can sit where it needs to connect the rooms. I carefully measure and draw the notch locations for the doorstop and then use an oscillating tool to make the cuts. And hey, it looks like it'll fit nicely. I push it into position in the metal track by hand and then give it some gentle taps with a mallet to ensure it's completely seated. And I'm pretty happy with how the T-molding sits and with how the notches turned out. Now I'm gonna sit back on this patio chair in an otherwise empty makerspace, drink some coffee, and pretend like it's not the dead of winter outside. This is one of many patio sets available from Home, the sponsor for today's video, and it'll definitely improve the design and comfort of what would be an otherwise pretty drab back deck. This is a 4-piece all-weather bistro set and is a major upgrade from the $10 plastic Adirondack chairs from Walmart that we're currently using out there. You can check this out as well as other Home products by following their links in the video description. If you need help installing your vinyl flooring, I've got a video you can check out right here. And if, after seeing this video, you feel like I've earned your subscription, you can click the ManCycle logo right here. See you next time.